Hi, YouTube friends. It's Karen. I'm back. I thought today I would do a video on what was I thinking. Now, excuse me. I know I've complained about my poor memory endlessly, so I won't go into that. But I will tell you my memory has lapses in the recent past, not on the past. And especially, I remember this day and night and the following day like it was yesterday. However, it was 45 years ago, but like it was yesterday. It was the first night of our honeymoon, on our way to the honeymoon resort of my dreams, if not my husband's. But anyway, it was a trip to remember. First of all, I got married when I was 20, and when you're 20, you think you know everything, and you don't think you need help. You can do things better than anybody else. So in planning our honeymoon, I did do some research. We didn't have a lot of time to plan for our wedding. I got engaged in December. No, I got my hope chest in December, and I think I got my ring in January. Anyway, we didn't have a lot of time to plan for our wedding. So I went to one of these do it all, sit down, plan your wedding in one day, your flowers, your photographer, your band, or music. And back in those days, it was mostly bands. Your music, your flowers, your pictures, your meal, everything. So, because I worked, and I worked long hours, I was a hard worker, and I worked 6 days a week, I didn't have a terribly lot of time to plan this wedding. So that was a lifesaver, to have this convenience of going in and planning everything. In thinking about our honeymoon, I consulted with several of my friends, and I looked into all kinds of magazines. And back in the day, one of the top wedding honeymoon areas in the East were the Poconos. And I had a friend who had gone to the Poconos, and she was telling me all about Cove Haven and how she had this magnificent room with a heart-shaped swimming pool and carpet everywhere, and she said it was just fabulous. King-size bed. I don't think she had a heart-shaped bed, she just had the king-size bed. But the heart-shaped bathtub in the room, excuse me, she made it sound marvelous. She told me what fun she had, she met a lot of nice people, and that I would love it. So, I think it was around February, beginning of March, I called up Cove Haven to make a reservation, and I wanted the same accommodations that she had. And she told me what they were called and everything. And the woman on the phone said to me, unfortunately, all those rooms are booked up. But for the same price, I can give you our secluded bungalow. And I'm thinking, wow, that should be fun. not to be in like a motel type area or a hotel type area. We'll have our own secluded bungalow. So I made the reservations. The day of the wedding, we left the reception, I don't know, 6, 7 o'clock at night, and we weren't going to drive all the way to Pennsylvania that night. We were going to stay at the end of the Mass Turnpike at a hotel there because we had these beautiful reservations for the next day. Well, of course, we had gotten directions, and one of our ushers was from Pennsylvania, and he gave us real good directions on how to get there. He didn't tell us, however, that there were no hotels on the Taconic Parkway. Not right on it. You had to get off. And there were only 3 exits. Well, he didn't tell us that because that was my fault, because I had told him I was going to stop right at the end of the Mass Pike and get a room there. And I knew there were hotels there, but we got going, we got driving, and we decided that even though it was, well, it wasn't pouring rain when we decided this, but we decided we'd drive as far as we could so we wouldn't have a long drive the next day, and we could get to the resort and enjoy all the amenities. So anyway, we went past the Mass Pike, past all the hotels there, got on the Taconic Parkway, and as I said, I didn't realize there were only 3 exits. And we're looking for hotels or motels. There's nothing. Nothing on the highway. We'd already gone by the first exit. At the second exit, because it had started to pour buckets, we decided we'd get off and ask somebody where a motel was. And it was very late at night by this point in time. And the man told us that now that you're off the exit, 5 miles in either direction, there was a motel. I don't remember whether we went left or right. It's not here, neither here nor there. But we got to the motel 5 miles away, off the exit. Luckily, they had a room, I guess. I don't know, because it was like a little no-tell motel out in the woods. Yeah, I think there were maybe 2 other cars there, if there were that. I don't know. It was so late at night, I really wasn't looking. So we walk into the hotel room, and it's not the greatest, but again, not a big deal. Happy-go-lucky, first night of our honeymoon, and the resort is only a few hours away. So we stayed, and the next morning we got up early, and we didn't have that far to go to get to the resort. When I got in there to check in, the resort was beautiful. They told us the directions to our secluded cottage, excuse me. Okay, so we had to drive about 3 miles, I think it was, still on the property, but about 3 miles away, out in the middle of the woods, on a lake, which had no amenities on this lake. Underneath the house, there was a boat that we could have used, but they don't put in the docks until after Memorial Day weekend, and this was the weekend of the 18th of May. So, at first glance, not a 4-star resort room. We walked, it had a little porch. I remember that. We walked into the porch, into the front door, and ahead of me was on about a 6-inch raised platform, a queen-size bed with a canopy that had a mattress that literally went like the letter U. Now, at this point in time, I'm in tears. And I thought, well, how bad can this be? I'll go into the bathroom when see how wonderful that must be. I got in the bathroom, and it was like a closet. It had a little toilet, a pedestal sink, and a stand-up shower that was the teeniest thing I ever saw in my life. With that, I came out of the bathroom hysterical, and I said to my husband, we have to go. This is wrong. This isn't what I paid for. So we proceeded to drive back to the main office, and I went up and I said, what's with my room? I paid for luxuries and sunken this and carpeted that and luxurious everything. What's the deal? And they said, well, we told you when you made the reservation that we didn't have one of those rooms available, but what you're actually paying for is the seclusion. Well, and they didn't have, due to renovations, they didn't have any other place they could put us. So we were stuck in this room. It really didn't matter, because as it was the Stanley Cup playoffs, and the Bruins were playing, so my husband was going to be watching the TV anyway in the Stanley Cups. When I picked my wedding date, to make matters worse, I was on the pill before I got married, and I didn't do any calculating. And so during the week of my honeymoon was the time when I'd get my period. Well, that made him very happy because, hey, more time to watch the Stanley Cup. You shouldn't leave vacation planning to a person who isn't an expert. What was I thinking? I don't know. Did we have a good time? Yes, all in all, we did. And our little cottage, we met some wonderful people while we were there. Our little cottage was actually a duplex, and there was a couple on the other side. Now, this couple on the other side, the first time we met them was on the last night's party that they had for the 1-week anniversary for everybody. I guess they enjoyed the cottage. I don't know. What was I thinking? I learned lessons or to get better at planning. Let's put it that way. But that's a subject for another video, because I have another trip that I planned for you. So I hope this gives you a little insight into what I'm about. To my new subscribers, welcome. It is what it is. You get what you get here. To all my old subscribers, I love you dearly. Thank you. Thank you for sticking here. Peace, hugs, and God bless.